ID at Xbox showcase at GDC is filled with hidden gems of games. And I found one that you might be looking forward to. Tacoma is the follow-up to Gone Home from Fulbright Studios. So there's no demo for Tacoma out in the world yet, but there is one here. And I played all of it. So we have a full 8 minutes of gameplay of Tacoma just for you.
All right, so in our playthrough, as we were recording this, the audio actually did not record. So this is my silent playthrough of Tacoma. And hopefully you can still get a sense of what the game is really all about, even without the dialogue. The voice acting is great. You know, it definitely added some depth to the characters. So you'll have to, I guess, wait for the demo or the full game to come out to actually hear some of that. But as you can see, look at that. It starts off with a little bit of sign language, so that works out pretty well for our purposes right here. So this is the very beginning of Tacoma, like the super first scenes. And this is actually the demo that I saw at E3 last year that I was not able to play. The developers at Fulbright, they walked me through, and they walked a group of reporters through this entire whole first section. And they talked a little bit about the story behind this whole game and how it came to be. So obviously Fulbright, the creators of Gone Home, this is their second, it's their follow-up to Gone Home basically. And it has that same kind of exploration feel to it, as you can see. But it's very high-tech. So you're set in space, you're in this little floating space colony. And up here is where the dialogue actually starts. I've just uncovered or recovered some audio data, and these are the floating shapes of the basically the lost crew of this ship. And they're talking about their desire to go home, but also their desire to stay on the ship because you can float around in space, and that's pretty cool. They've been there for a year at this point, and they talk about it like that's early for them to be going home, like they've only been there for a year. So they're kind of grappling with wanting to, to be back on Earth and also to play around in zero gravity, which I completely understand. And there they go. Whee! So a lot of the game plays out with these characters, and I mean with these shadow characters, and this is where you're piecing the story together yourself. And they're talking about right now the ship's AI system, Odin. He I say because he has I think he's a British voice. I don't want to try to impersonate the accent at all, but he kind of runs the ship, and he lets them all know when it's time for meetings, and he keeps the ship running smoothly. And they're having a little party, so they're gonna go down there. And this elevator is super cool. And look at this, right next to the boot when I step down, I love that detail. That scuff mark on the floor was when I saw it, I was like, yeah, because that would be there. Everyone's stepping off the elevator right there. That's where your boot lands. So I love little details like that. It really shows how much that Fulbright has thought about this world and what they've really built and how people would live in it. And that's also part of what made Gone Home, I think, so powerful for a lot of people. It felt real. It felt like a real house. And this feels like a real space station because of details like that. And this is me getting lost in a corridor. Don't worry, I'll figure it out in a second. So this is part not a puzzle game necessarily, but it's exploration. You really have to pay attention to your surroundings. And the more that you are looking out for things, I mean, the more of the story you're just gonna know. I think there are a few secrets, even just in this little demo. I'm not sure I found, all the cool interactive bits that I could see, but I did find this. And this is the, looks like almost a save point, but it's, oh, this is where I'm talking with my crew, it looks like. It's all a little mysterious still. Not quite sure. I'm investigating something. Something happened here and I'm looking for the answer. And that's why there is no crew. There's only shadows of the crew. Here we go. Administration. And this is where the party happens. So there's a few people wandering around and getting things ready. Here we go, there's their shadows. I just recovered the data. And I grabbed a party hat. So the shadow people that we're seeing, they're not necessarily, like they're not ghosts or anything. These are actual, recordings of the actual crew. These are exactly what they did. And you're able to, as you can see on the bottom rail there, you can fast forward, you can rewind, you can pause the recording, and explore the world, while people are talking. Like these two are talking about making, I believe, a cake for the AI system, because they're celebrating. And he wanted something specific, but they're a little upset because they have to eat it, and they're not entirely enthused about that, because AI systems cannot eat cake, surprisingly. And then these two are talking about their future together, which is a cute little moment, showing how these crew members have really bonded over their year in space. And this, a keypad. So, in my head, having played games like this before, I know I need to look for some kind of piece of paper or a cat. Okay, not a cat. I need to find some numbers to put into that keypad so I can open that door. So I'm, looking around the tables. The cat just woke up, which was adorable. And here we go, to the party. And then it gets corrupted. So until now, all the voices have been smooth and they've just been talking. It feels like real people, but they're just, recordings, obviously. And so I'm rewinding here to see what happened and why the recordings suddenly turn totally distorted. They get morphed and it's just incomprehensible speech. And that's what you can see. Everything is kind of fading out. And there's a problem with the ship at this point. The party has stopped and they're pulling up their AR vision to see what's actually going on with the ship, because something's wrong and, they're trapped in space. So if this ship breaks down, they're kind of SOL. So they're looking at that now. I don't know where the cat is. I wish I did. But that's the AI system, that little triangle. And he is telling them that everything is broken. They're gonna have to fix some stuff, or else they're gonna run out of oxygen. They're gonna, not have their life support systems. It's not good. And the recording stops there. And I can restart it, as you can see on the bottom. But I am still hunting for a key code for that door. I don't see it there. I'm not gonna play pool. And actually, I was pretty surprised at how quickly I did find the code. I guess, spoilers, I find the code eventually. But it's a little nerve-wracking to play a game with the developer watching you, right? But this world kind of moves you through, the game moves you through this world in a really directed way, but that feels totally natural. And it's fun to wander around. Like here, I walk into this room and we see someone sitting on the bed and I hear them playing guitar. So they're playing this little song and singing. And it's really beautiful. It's a quiet, beautiful moment. You see with the picture of Earth in the background, like they're looking at the mountains and singing a little ditty, which is such a human thing to do, even in space. I enjoyed that a lot. So, and this is what I was talking about, where it felt natural to find stuff in the world. I saw a book on the bed and I was just drawn to it. I don't know why. But there are numbers on the top of that bookmark, and they look like they would fit into a keypad. So eventually this character starts singing. She was just playing guitar before. So that's why I turned back and listened for a second. And I'm like, okay, I've seen you before. Let's enter this key code. Okay, I didn't mean to throw the book, but that's fine. Correct. I love saying that. Dun, dun, dun. And the demo is over.
So, Tacoma is nothing like Gone Home, except it still feels like a Fulbright game. It's an exploration-based project. It's very intent on leading a player through a space and having them discover the story on their own. And you can already see that in the early gameplay. So it's looking and feeling pretty good so far.